A very good evening and welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Tracy Shilshi and today our focus is on the UGC Occupy protests. It's been 15 days since UGC announced that they would be, that in fact the non-national eligibility test or NET fellowship will be discontinued for research scholars, and students across universities in Delhi rose up in protest. And now it's turning into a pan-India movement. In practical terms, the discontinuation of the scholarship would mean financial assistance of 5,000 rupees for MPhil and 8,000 rupees for PhD students being taken away. The UGC, of course, claiming that the fellowship was discontinued because of complaints about its misuse. But, of course, the students are alleging something else. So joining us on this debate this evening, we have Swaraj Abhiyan leader and former UGC member Yogendra Yadav, who in fact claims that he would be spending the night there with the students outside the headquarters of the UGC. We've got BJP national spokesperson Gopal Krishna Agarwal as well joining us. And in studio, we have Professor Apurvanand from the Faculty of Arts at DU. We've got Dr. Rajesh Patabyal, who's the Deputy Director of the Academic Staff College at JNU, and Mr. Deshratan Nigam, who's a thinker at RSS Affairs. In fact, if I could come to you first, Mr. Yadav, what's the message that's coming out at least tonight from the students there, since you are there in the heart of the action?
I should clarify, I was there last night, not right now. Right now, I've come out. We were there for last 24 hours. The larger significance of this case is the following. This is not merely about the non-net fellowship of the UGC. There is the question of the non-net fellowship, but there are also bigger, wider questions. The point about the non-net fellowship is that it is part of a larger national plan, larger national policy of encouraging more and more doctoral students, because the evidence was that India was lagging behind substantially to China and other countries in producing enough doctoral students. That's why the scheme was devised. Not merely those who qualify in the NET test, but the government decided, the UGC decided that those who do not qualify, even they should be given at least 5,000 rupees because they have reached a level of their career where parents cannot support them anymore. This scheme was first given to central universities, then extended to 10 state universities, and it was a clear decision of the UGC to expand it even further. So it is shocking and surprising that instead of expanding, the scheme was suddenly folded up. Second, there is a question of procedure. How can UGC take this big decision without even making the report public, without giving any public reason? As of today, we don't know why it was taken. Third, there is a question of deep impropriety, that in that very meeting, it's a small question, but it's a symbolic question. In that very meeting where the University Grants Commission decided to withdraw the scheme, they decided to reward themselves. The UGC members decided to increase their own sitting fee from 2,000 to 5,000 rupees in that very meeting. This is about this particular decision, but I think the struggle is important because it raises the larger question of how badly equipped our higher education is in supporting the students. No other country in the world, no country with any pretension of being a higher education hub gives lesser proportion of fellowships than we do. We have nearly 3 crore students in higher education today. And the UGC put everything together, doesn't award more than 30,000 fellowship a year. Just think of it. It is 0.01%. This is the heart of the matter, and I hope that as this struggle goes on, this larger systemic issue will come to the fore.
All right. If I could come to you, Mr. Agarwal, you know, there has been, of course, a lot of criticism also against the Modi government. In fact, if I could quote, some of the leaders, some of the student leaders, they're saying that the Modi government is being insensitive, autocratic, and, irresponsible for curtailing the autonomy of educational institutions. Is this going to go the FDII way? I mean, the government doesn't respond at all to what students are seeing across the country. Because at the moment, no strong action, no strong words of assurance at all has come, from the government.
No, actually, FDII is a different issue. In that case, the government directly acted on it. And on this is a question of UGC. UGC as an independent body, they have taken a decision. The government is not interfering in that. but still understanding that the demand of the students is genuine, and they have some agitation on that issue, and it requires a larger investigation and more analysis. Therefore, the government has already said that till a committee has been set up, that committee report comes, this scholarship will continue. I don't know why these politicians jump into every thing and then create a situation where they create a complexity on the situation. It's a UGC. They don't understand that UGC is an independent body. It takes its own decisions. Though government opinion may influence, but all decisions are not being discussed first with the government, then taken and then implemented. But still, we are open. The government has said that the grant will continue till a committee will give the report, and then everybody should have patience to hear them and create an agitational situation in everywhere, in every situation. This is a political agenda which people put in behind, where we are saying that the UGC scholarship should be discontinued. Which our leader has said this? Can you quote anybody? As any BJP government or any leader or any party has said this? We are saying it's an independent decision. We have also got the decision from the UGC, and now it will be reviewed and then it will be taken. I don't think you should blame. You can blame UGC for this, but not blame the government on this.
All right. Do you agree with this, Professor? You know that UGC is the only one at fault. And you know the students are jumping the gun. They should probably be waiting for this committee to come out with its report. Do you agree with this?
Even know that.
Do you think that the students are just unnecessarily protesting on the streets across the country? Is that what you also believe?
I think students have a cause, and they are justified.
Yeah, and then politicians jump into that agitation and create the vicious.
That is another aspect also that we'll be looking at, Mr. Agarwal. Just 1 second. Yes, you were saying, sir.
So students have a cause, and I think they're justified in doing whatever they are doing, because it was UGC which announced that it was going to discontinue the fellowships, and therefore it was perfectly legitimate on the part of students, if you look at from their point of view, to protest the move. Had they not protested, UGC won't have come out with a statement that they are going to postpone the decision at least, and they formed another committee, which again reflects poorly on the functioning of UGC, that it doesn't think deeply, and it doesn't deliberate, and it takes a decision. And this has been the case with UGC for the last 5-7 years.
Yes.
It has been in total disarray. Secondly, for the last 2 years, we have been hearing about a national education policy. So if you are going to frame a national education policy, how is it that you are taking such crucial decisions even before that? That is the question. You are telling research laboratories to seek their own funding, and that's a very critical decision.
Yes.
So how is it that decisions of this nature or of this import are being taken separately, while you are claiming that you are going to put in place a new national education policy?
Yes.
And so far as the autonomy of UGC is concerned, it has become a joke, because UGC is no longer autonomous. We had examined the functioning of UGC in the Yashpal Committee report, and we had recommended disbanding of UGC. It should have been disbanded long back. This government also appointed a committee. It also recommended that UGC should be disbanded. UGC doesn't have a mind of its own. That's the problem. It doesn't have an intellectual resource base, and you can observe how it functions. First, it legitimized the 4-year undergraduate program of Delhi University. Then it forced Delhi University to withdraw 4-year undergraduate program, and that too in a span of 1 year, and that too at the instance or at the order of the government.
Yes.
So where is the autonomy? There is no autonomy. And they robbed Delhi University of its autonomy. because they forced Delhi University to withdraw 4-year undergraduate program. So to say or to claim that UGC is autonomous, I think it's a joke.
Mr. Nigam, would you like to respond to that?
First, let me clear the facts, confusion with respect to the facts of the case. The October 7 decision of UGC has been reversed by the government, and UGC was created under the Act of the Parliament in the year 1956. And under that Act, UGC is supposed to act autonomously and take its own independent decision. However, in the event of a difference or dispute between the government and the UGC, the decision of the central government would prevail. Since the UGC took an autonomous decision in this case of doing away with this not-net fellowship, that was reversed by the HRD ministry. Hence, that decision would prevail and would stand. Now, UGC certainly by doing so has done something wrong. I certainly feel that a step was taken by UGC in a manner which should not have been taken. Government has rightfully intervened and reversed that decision, and have appointed a expert committee on this, in fact, to continue this scheme and also to expand this scheme to bring in more state universities. Therefore, there is a clear indication by the establishment and even otherwise that the scheme will continue. So a decision which the UGC certainly which it has taken was a wrong one, and it has been reversed.
All right. Dr. Batavyal, what would you have to say, especially about the protests?
Can I ask you a question here? This is important.
All right. Yes, Mr. Yadav.
Yes. I think it's a very important thing that Professor Nigam is saying, but I really need to be very, very sure of what he is saying. He is saying the government has reversed the decision, and he's saying this is under the power in the Act. Now, this is very important. Where is that notification? Yes, it is. He is absolutely right to say that the government of India has powers under, I think it's
Section 22.
Article 20 or
Section
something.
20, subsection 2.
All right, Mr. Yadav, he is clarifying. He is giving you your answer.
So,
yes.
Where is the... No. So, no. He's not giving me the answer. Where is the notification under Section 20 where the government says the decision has been reversed? Reversing means saying the UGC decisions stand annulled and that the students will continue to get scholarship, and that anything else that happens is a different matter. What I've heard, and if this is the case, why does the government not put these things in the public domain?
Exactly.
What the government has said is that they have appointed a review committee. Now, review committee and reversal of decision are two entirely different things. Let's be absolutely clear on what we are talking about.
Absolutely, that's right.
The expert panel which has been created has been given a specific mandate to look into the question as to expanding this existing scheme.
All right.
Not
Dr. Bhatt, I will come to you, but
yes,
we've got Mr. Agarwal responding, yes.
That was the mandate of the original committee as well.
Mr. Agarwal also wanting to make a point there. Very quickly, Mr. Agarwal.
No, this is just a language that it is reversed or it is a old decision is asked to be continued. Till the review committee gives report, the old continue, the government has said that the scholarships will continue. That's same thing that the decision to curtail the scholarship has been reversed. And second thing is, if the people have objection to the review committee,
is the notification?
within the power
Mr. Agarwal, what are you saying is just a matter of words. If tomorrow I am told you have a job, but the next day I am told you don't have a job, I need to have a notification saying, do I have a job or not? And that is exactly what Mr. Yadav is saying. If there is a notification, if there is a reverse of a decision, where is that notification? Has that been conveyed to the students?
There is a notification for setting up the committee. In the same notification, it is said the old decision will continue. But otherwise, how will you function? Ultimately, you have to go by, in all the bodies are taking their decisions, and if anybody has objection, we have full sympathy with the students, and we understand that this scholarship is important for in the education sector. We have not said that our intention is to stop this scholarship. UGC has taken a decision, a step which government has said that if the UGC has taken a stand that it needs a review committee, but still it could have said that till that time also the scholarship will discontinue.
All right, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see eventually if we do see the notification. But Dr. Bhadra, finally coming to you. Joining in this debate a little late, but please, yes.
The crucial point has been mentioned.
Yes. But I just want to have a discussion whether we should politicize all issues.
All right. We are talking right now about the
education is a political issue, always. It has been for centuries is a political issue.
And politicians don't get afraid of politics.
So the issue that I see, and I am a fourth generation teacher.
You can have a political
decision. Mr. Agarwal, let me bring my ancient arrogance of a teacher to ask you to be stopped. Now, what is happening, Mr. Agarwal, is it's a long process. It's not just happened yesterday, day before yesterday, but last couple of almost a decade now, we are seeing a constant berating of our own institution, our own scholarship, our own professors, our own universities, as if we are just null. And that is the mindset in which all these are happening. You see any important body, either Niti Aayog or UGC or any big policy making body, there's not a single university professor from any Indian university sitting there. They are seen to be just supplicant, given some crumbs here and there, policy planner or consultant, but not a policy planner in larger sense. And that has been added by the new committee which was, I think, constituted to make new education policy or frame new or draft new education policy. All are bureaucrats. So you have a consistent disparaging or discontent or contempt for Indian institutions of learning. I'm not bringing any other political issue. I'm making a completely class issue, that the political class, bureaucratic class has complete contempt for Indian education system. You can shout about indigenous, Hindu, Marxist, all these are all part of the larger package. Within that package comes the student. Now, by making this decision, what UGC has done is actually gone against the government's larger construct of Make in India. Let me bring the latest slogan, Make in India. Who will make that India? For last 60 years, whatever innovations, whatever growth stories have been happening here has not been done by NRI population. It has been done by Indian students, teachers, scholars, daftaris, chaprasis, peons, vice chancellor, whoever. It's our institution. It can be bad, worse, good, but these are our institution. No Americans will come and create your own society. So we have been doing that, and these are the students who will be doing all this Make in India. Now, to make and what was the fellowship given? 5,000, which is lower than, if you take the lower than an average dihadi that a lowest rung of the society gets, dihadi. Now you expect that with the lowest dihadi, lower than a dihadi, you are creating innovative hubs. I think we are living in a chimera, because the society is, economy has grown, society has grown, there are hundreds of problems, and on that kind of situation, suddenly you withdraw this fellowship.
Your humble student would like to respond.
And this will do complete injustice to, even if taking the last 1.5 years, the policy makers, that India is going to make in India. Now, if you can't make policy analysis synchronized or synchronize with your implementation tool, you are making a mess of everything. And we are seeing this is a mess. UGC, as we are seeing, is in a mess, not just today, tomorrow, or today or yesterday, for last couple of years. And that mess we are adding. And this review committee, also from within the university system, we are bringing people who seem to be completely not known. So there is a complete distrust. So distrust, which will obviously, students are fully justified if they are distrust as teachers, because we are not able to support them. We are also feeling helpless.
All right. Mr. Agarwal, you were wanting to respond earlier?
No, I would like to respond, because as a professor, he is reading too much between the lines. I know this is an issue that UGC student issue is there and it should have a sympathetic view from the government. We are agreeing to that view, but linking it to so much of issues together is not justified. We as a party believe in our national institutions. We understand they have been the major source of development in the country. It is our institutions. It is not the foreigners who have done growth or development or the various democratic rights or whatever development India has seen. It is because of the people living here. It is because of our institutions.
Okay.
But you are saying that the ruling dispensation has no respect for them. That's
okay, Mr. Yadav, if I could bring you in.
Unfounded that conclusion.
Mr. Yadav, if I could bring you in, and since you are really giving us the voice of the students, at least at this point, apart from, of course, the two professors here. Mr. Yadav, like Mr. Agarwal is, of course, has been bringing out again and again, I would like to bring that again, making it a political issue. He seems to be suggesting that if you make it a political issue, it's something that the government then just doesn't want to get its hands into. That's the kind of impression that one gets. What's your opinion on that?
Let's get three things absolutely clear. One is about political. Please remember, the protest against this did not begin with any political party. It was student union, not just in JNU. Allahabad University Students' Union got every student organization under its banner and they protested against it. So it's not one political party, for heaven's sake. And for 15 days, if you allow a protest to go on, you do not even have the elementary courtesy of going and speaking to them. What do you expect? You expect the whole world to sit and watch? Two, about autonomy. It is wrong to say that the denial of autonomy began only with BJP government. The record of Congress government was also very bad. The only difference is that Congress picked up people from the first and second rung, academics, played with them, was very selective, was very uneven in the way it played. BJP's tragedy is that it cannot even persuade anyone from the first or the second rung to accept any position that it offers. That's the only difference between BJP and Congress. And third, about the basic decision itself, I would plead with both my friends who represent RSS and BJP on the panel. You can't have it both ways. Either you can say the government has appointed a committee to review the decision, whatever the committee recommends, that will be done. Or you can say the government has taken a decision to reverse the UGC's decision. For heaven's sake, you can't say both the things in the same breath. I mean, you are two intelligent people sitting here. Please don't do this.
Mr. Nigam?
I think I made myself very clear that the scheme has not been scrapped. It is continuing, and in fact, its nature, scope and extent is being enlarged, and for that purpose an expert committee has been constituted. That is very clear. There is no mincing of words. And so far as the higher education system in India is concerned, there is a lot desirable to be improved, and I believe the new education policy is looking into it, and the research aspect has to be. India, in fact, is one of the largest country and handling the largest higher education system, but the quality has left a lot to be desired. That has to be improved, and at the same time, one has to ensure the system remains transparent, and one sees that the fellowships which are being given are given to the meritorious and deserving students, and that transparency and corruption-free system has to be put in place. And that aspect, I think everybody must consider. There is no politics in it, and the purpose of improving our higher education system has to be considered, and it has to be given due importance.
All right. I think we'll just have to leave it at that for the moment because we're running short of time here on the big picture. But really, going by the way different universities have been rallying around, those who've been affected at least by perhaps scrapping or non-scrapping of this particular scheme. We'll have to wait and see in the days to come, but at least going by the unity that we're seeing in universities, I think you would agree, there's definitely a sense of frustration that perhaps we're seeing in the education community at least, especially when universities are concerned, and that's something we'll be focusing on in days to come as well. I believe Mr. Agarwal has a very quick point to make, Mr. Agarwal, and I have to wrap it up, so very quickly.
Yeah, what I was taking when Mr. Yadav gave a comment, there is a particular intolerance earlier in the UPA government where a ideological isolation to particular thought was.
So that's a topic. I mean, once we get into it, we'll probably be sitting here the whole night, sir. But thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us. Thank you all, I guess, of course, for joining us. You know, this has been an interesting big picture, and I'm sure the debate will continue. For the moment, of course, really salute to all those UGC students who are protesting. We'll have to wait and see what eventually happens to them. But thanks so much for joining us here. We'll be back with another topic tomorrow. Stay with us.